Welcome to Dadvice, the podcast that explores the unique journey of fatherhood in today's ever-evolving society. I'm your host, Sean, along with
Chance,
and we're going to embark on a heartfelt exploration that truly means to be a dad in the 21st century.
Today's dads are nurturing, involved, deeply committed in their children's well-being and development.
On Dadvice, we'll dive into a myriad of experiences, challenges, and joys.
And the pride that comes from being a positive influence in their lives.
This podcast isn't just for dads, though. It's for anyone interested in understanding the modern-day family.
So whether you're an expectant dad, a seasoned father, or simply curious about the evolving role of dads in society, join us on Dadvice. Together we'll learn, grow, redefine what it means to be a father in today's ever-changing world. All right. Episode Ocho.
We got a guest again.
8. We do have a guest. He's somewhat famous.
A little bit.
Top listener for the show.
So, well,
Only listener to the show.
let's don't get Will fired up.
Bring something that makes us want to bring you on the show, Will. Slacker.
Uh-oh. We have two super fans.
Will who?
And we're making them
Exactly.
compete. I love it. Episode 8, Cops and Kids and
Yes.
Life. I'd like to welcome one of the few men, and that's probably not right, one of the men that I'm extremely proud of. It's my brother, Shane Bush.
Yes.
The Bush brothers in action.
Man, we're in full effect.
No music in the background, or
There's a button on here that does that, but the first time I tried it, it was an epic fail.
It was bad.
Yeah. So I just
maybe we can dub it.
I tend to myself.
Yeah.
Tend to stay in my lane.
Yeah.
So, hey, before we dive into this, let's do what we do. Let's talk a little bit about Longhorn football. It's another W in the books.
I got nervous.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I was talking a whole lot of trash to Oklahoma Sooner fan. Going, hey, you almost lost. So that might have been my fault that we almost lost.
yeah,
There's that.
there's that.
You ready to jump aboard?
No, I'm neutral.
Okay.
I'm not for or against.
That means you're
Sorry.
against.
Not everybody can be perfect.
If you're not for us, you're against us.
I rooted for you against Oklahoma, and that didn't work out.
Let me tell you something. Next weekend, I will be decked out in Jayhawk gear, head to toe. Celebrating my daughter, and they're playing OU.
Oh, you? Yeah.
Fair enough. As you should.
Come on, Jayhawks. just
Do
help me out
something.
one time.
Mm-hmm.
One time. Okay. Chiefs won.
Chiefs won.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was nice.
A lot of Swifties.
Bills lost.
A lot of Swifties happy. Chiefs won.
But let's not give that any time on the show. They're getting enough time. It's turning football into a circus.
I'm looking for listeners. I'll trade bracelets with. No. Sorry. Okay.
That's weird.
You're done.
Okay.
Stay in your lane. Remember that whole lane thing? Stay there.
I do. Hey, we have this running thing on our show called I Don't Get It. And
Well, let's talk about that because our guest today
yeah.
is the source that started I Don't Get It on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the reason.
He is the reason.
There's a lot of stuff I don't get.
What do you got for us in I Don't Get It today?
Yeah.
I don't remember what I put on the.
Well, let's go
Is
straight.
it cop specific or?
Yeah, let's just go straight.
cop specific?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad boys,
All right.
bad boys. What you gonna do?
Here's what I don't get.
Okay.
When I'm just driving down the road, minding my own business, and we come to an intersection, if you'll just follow the rules of the road, we can all move on.
They're scared you're behind them.
But everybody stops and everybody tries to wave me through. Just do what we do.
Their generosity is making you upset.
Do you ever drive like 5 miles an hour below the speed limit just to see everyone around you do the same
Bro,
thing?
I'm trying to drive 5 over and people drive 5 under in front of me, showing me just how wonderful they can drive.
I love that.
And
Do
I'm
they
like,
side eye you the whole time?
I'm
Okay.
like, I'm trying to get somewhere.
Can we spend some time and ask and or defunk some cop myths
Oh,
Absolutely.
I think we should.
on a scale of 1 to 10?
Mm-hmm.
How much do you love donuts?
Not a big donut fan. They give me heartburn.
What?
Heartburn. How about coffee?
I love the smell of coffee. Don't like to drink it.
All right.
I'm more of energy drinks.
Can we
Straight
okay.
Red Bull.
That's two swings of.
We
Can
only
we
have
slow down for a second?
we only have a couple of guys that really get on the coffee.
Yeah.
Really?
Most of us don't.
How about the donuts? Same percentage?
Um.
Is there donuts in the police station, like on the reg?
Oh no.
No.
Sometimes people will bring donuts up there,
Citizens.
and the same 4 or 5 guys put them down.
Let me ask you this. and probably
here's the
not a
funny
donut
thing.
fan, probably just a sweets fan.
When I was working nights, this is the first time I worked days.
Okay.
But when I was always working nights, and citizens are awesome. They bring us a bunch of food and stuff like that. The guys that show up at night,
Yeah.
all that's there when we get there at night is ketchup packets and napkins. That's it.
Oh, because citizens are bringing like
They bring it during the day.
normal
Day
hours.
shifts. And they'll say, hey, these are for the guys at night. I'm telling you now, they don't get to the guys at night.
This is a shout out to night shift.
Yeah.
So somebody's rolling there in the evenings around 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drop some things.
That's right.
Drop some jack staff off for them. Keep your donuts. Drop some jack staff.
I will tell you.
I like that.
Can we name it? Oh, Jack Stack. I guess we can name company.
You can name whatever.
Probably
you want.
about once a week or so.
You're the police.
When there's yeah. When there's the leftovers, especially at the end of the week, Chick-fil-A brings a bunch of leftover sandwiches and stuff like that and drops them off.
Shout out Chick-fil-A.
Mhm.
Well done, Chick-fil-A.
How does Dadvice get on that little charity wagon?
I personally think Chick-fil-A and Quick Trip should be president and vice president of our country. See how efficient those places are?
Please.
Mhm.
Come on now.
But I heard this could be complete myth, but I heard that Quick Trip, like their little POS, the little point of sale system, invented by an employee.
Boom.
Shout out to Quick Trip. If
I heard
that's
that
true.
too.
Yeah.
Quick Trip, Chick-fil-A, we'll take your sponsorships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how one person can run like 6 registers at once.
Okay, I don't get it. I don't get it. When you walk into Quick Trip, okay, listen. I moved here from Oklahoma. The corporate headquarters of Quick Trip is it? I know what I'm talking about. They don't do lines at Quick Trip. Stop getting in line. Just spread yourself out on the counter. They'll get to you. They would rather get you in and out.
I always say going to Quick Trips like going to a bar. Just stand at the bar and they'll come by and
Oh, I love that.
take care of you.
I love that.
That's
Okay,
probably, I shouldn't snap. Huh?
listen,
It's fine.
you can snap.
You do what you want.
You're a cop.
I'm the police.
That's right.
Yeah, you are.
Bad boys. Okay, let's.
So,
Let's don't get off this debunking.
no, let's go back to
I got a million questions.
what is the magic amount over the speed limit that's guaranteed to get you pulled over? Is there a fine line?
Oh,
5,
you're
you're
asking
okay.
for trade
Yeah.
secrets.
8, you're not. Where's it at?
No, everybody gives a little different. And I can tell you what I do is, especially if it's a road that's really wide and there's nothing off of it and I speed on it, I tend to give a lot on those roads.
Fair enough.
Roads that we have a lot of complaints on. The funny thing is the roads we get complaints on, it's usually the people that live there speeding. But roads with a bunch of kids and schools and stuff like that, I tend to not give as much on.
Fair enough.
But
You were very
I mean-
vague in that answer.
What is?
well, I mean, I got a ticket, 10 months ago?
Yeah,
9 or 10 months ago from,
I love that too.
yeah.
I feel the same when he gets a ticket. I get the same feeling when I watch him eat bacon. It's the same thing.
I do love bacon.
Like when they start getting their own. I get it. I'm kidding.
Listen,
I'm kidding about the pig. I feel like I have police credit. Like
yeah, you get to say that.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. It was Lake Lotawana. The officer was really nice.
Those
He just
dudes don't
didn't
let
know.
anybody through. I don't care.
He didn't know. I didn't tell him because I was speeding.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, good. I hope you learned your lesson.
we'll say I did.
Probably didn't.
We'll say that.
Okay. Let's see. What else do I want to know? When to carry a taser, do you have to get shot by a taser? Is that true?
It used to be. They don't really do that anymore.
But they used to do that.
They used to do that.
Should we tell them how long you've been doing this, my guy? Because you look like you've been doing it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Truth is,
I'm in my 26th year.
man.
Can we tase Chance and use it as a clip for one of our future shows?
I would absolutely love to.
Okay. I don't feel like that's a thing.
Why not?
Let's just all tase each other. How about that?
No, just you.
So I've only carried a taser for the last couple of years.
When they quit saying you could get shot to carry one?
No,
You
I
big baby.
I never carried one.
Yeah.
At my old apartment. In this one, they told me to.
Yeah.
That I had to. And my wife gave me 6 months before I shocked myself.
Huh.
I did it in the first couple weeks.
Are you serious?
How'd you shock yourself?
Yeah.
So you have to test them every day.
Yeah.
And so I,
Put your tongue on it like a battery?
I did, no. So
100,000 volts to the tongue.
I turned it into test mode and punched the button, and my finger was up there on the front. And I said, "Ooh,
Got him.
got me." So I came home and
Police brutality.
Jackie was like, I was being generous when I gave you 6 months, by the way.
I'm not gonna lie. Some of my favorite police videos are watching guys running and get locked up by the taser and just fall out. I love it.
So
I could
good.
laugh so hard.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, just straight leg. Just
Or some big dude that's full of it and just ready to go,
Yeah.
just flopping like a fish. That's my favorite.
I also like the ones when they shoot guys with tasers and it doesn't phase them at all. And the cop's just like,
That's not a good feeling.
No. Could get a couple more tasers, boys.
Yeah, no doubt. So, I've got a story that I'm going to tell about us. So here's a fun fact. When I was single, I used to spend all my vacation time at my brother's house riding out. So I used to dispatch. Shout out to dispatchers all across this land. It ain't easy keeping these guys in line. Anyway,
True enough.
Sister-in-law, oh, your wife, dispatcher,
She is.
right? So we're going to talk a little bit about just full. I mean, it's just full code blue at your house.
Right. It is.
Yeah.
Are they still doing ride-alongs where people can ride?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you see him look at me like he didn't want to say, yes, I could do that?
Well, no, I was going to say, I've got one Wednesday, as a matter of fact.
Do you?
Mhm.
I hope they're listening to the show because let me tell you what I got into. We got a call. We were in Bryan, Texas. We got a call. Look at me. I'm already a detective.
Yeah.
And it's an abandoned Walmart. For some reason, the alarm thing was still hooked up or whatever. So it's usually no big deal, right? So we go right up there, but the front door, you remember the wood was pulled up where somebody could crawl in, and then he's got a drug canine with him, not a bite dog at all.
No, that one would. Nope.
Just a sniff and find.
Yep.
Yeah. But he's gonna find you. He's a dog.
Yeah.
He gonna find somebody in there and say, "Come play with me." And so, and that guy, if there was a guy in there, he doesn't know that's not a bite dog. So you're gonna hear him. Anyway, we go in to this Walmart. We're in together.
So you got to go in and walk. You didn't have to stay in the car?
We were walking in this Walmart and probably cracking jokes, I'm sure, somehow or whatever. We get to the middle of this thing and all the lights come on. Ching, 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 ching. I grab his vest and just right
behind it.
I mean, I like Velcro on this guy. And he goes, "Hey, just go to the front door. Just go the way we came. Just go outside." I'm like, "Nope." And he's like, "Dude, you've got to let go of me.
So I can do my job.
And just go outside to the front door." We were like brothers fighting in the middle of this Walmart. It turns out it was just like a sensor with the light.
Yeah.
It's funny that the guy who's in selling electrical parts didn't understand the sensors in the store.
I wasn't doing that back then.
That's true.
Fair enough.
And let me tell you, the last thing going through my mind when all those lights came on was occupancy sensor. It was, this is where I die.
This is it. So it's safe to say that you didn't miss your call.
Oh, no. Yeah, the right brother is the right cop, for sure. There's three of us, and yeah. God picked the right one.
Wow.
Because I would just shoot people in the foot all the time.
In the foot?
Yeah.
Would you shoot yourself?
You left this house at 9:00 last night. We saw you do it. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Oh, right in the foot.
That does get tedious.
Oh, man, I can imagine. I watch it happen to you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
Yeah.
Oh,
wait.
Go ahead.
I was going to tell you. You asked about the taser, but the OC spray, you do have to get sprayed with before you carry it.
No, thank you.
So you used to have to get shot by the taser to carry that.
Well,
Pepper spray
You
or
do.
OC spray for you. Pepper spray for us layman folk.
Oh.
You have to get sprayed in the face. But do you shoot each other with your guns or no?
No.
In your bulletproof vest?
Yeah. Like, see if those work.
How fun would that room be?
This work out?
All right, Tim, get over here, Stan.
Damn, you shot me in the leg, Billy.
Yeah, there's a couple of them I wouldn't. No.
Oh man! So you have to test with your firearm, right? You're not just all willy nilly out there.
Nope, every year.
Okay. You also have to test driving.
No, not well. The first 5 years you do. After that, they pretty much established if you're driving 364 days out of the year with no accidents, chasing people, doing that, you're probably a pretty good driver.
Fair enough.
So they just make you do it the first couple of years.
Okay. I can get down with that. I think. What's your opinion about people in the left lane?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Really?
Get out. I'll light somebody up, move them over so I can get around them.
Can I can't put a light bar on my truck, can I?
Yeah, be a volunteer fireman.
Oh.
Don't they have light bars?
I don't know. I'm not going down that slippery slope. That didn't.
You'd be pulling people over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I'd also be responsible. Like somebody's house is on fire, I'd have to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to do all that.
No.
That seems like
again
for you.
The Wright brother is the civil servant.
Yeah.
It's clear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I might go to your house and
come on,
be like, hey, I brought some water. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
I brought a bottle of water.
Get out, dude.
Yeah. Hopefully that works.
Okay. I've got some serious Dadvice questions.
All right.
I guess we'll just jump right into it.
Let's go.
I mean, enough having this fun. People want to hear. So when you have a bad day at work, it's different than when I have a bad day at work. How 26-year vet talking to 2-year rook, how do you shut that down? How do you turn that off?
It was pretty hard at first. But I will tell you, I am a lot more, I'm a lot thankful because of what Jackie does, my wife. Because she's in the same field, I get to come home and now she'll tell you even there's things that I've done or cases I've done she doesn't know. And she's good with that.
Yeah.
I'll just tell her it was bad and she'll, hug my neck, tell me she loves me, and she never really asks anything about it.
Yeah.
But I do get to say a little bit more about what's going on than some of the other guys.
Yeah.
So back when I first started, it was very, you just push it down and go on to the next call. That was the way it was. But we've lost a lot of guys because of that. So now we have peer support teams. I'm on the peer support team for our department, and Jackie's actually on the peer support team for hers. And we've learned that if we can help each other and do that kind of thing, we really come a long way. So
yeah,
we tell people, Jackie and I have both been to therapists before, which was amazing.
Like
as long as they're culturally competent therapists.
Department related or on your own?
Well, there for a little bit, things that were going on at work were causing issues at home.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So when we talked about our work stuff, it really 180 degreed our home life.
Oh, good.
So
yeah.
But you got to have somebody who's kind of culturally competent. In other words, they understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Because we laugh at inopportune things that we shouldn't be laughing at.
Yeah.
Or that normal people shouldn't be laughing at.
I was, when I asked you that question, I was sitting here thinking, so my brother, 26-year veteran is the police, which I'm proud of. My father-in-law is a fireman forever. Brother-in-law is the Marine Corps. Our humor is darker.
It is.
Than most.
Yeah.
And so, but I also know how important it is for you to get that outlet out. And I also know humor heals the heart.
Yeah.
And so, it is cool to be surrounded by people who get you and kind of understand. So I can see how Jackie would be a big payoff for you.
When I hear a theme that we've talked about in some of our other episodes, which is finding people you can talk to.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You're finding people that understand the life you live and the things you've had to see.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking in those circles where they're understood and can be talked out. Right. And we've talked about that in other ways over the last few episodes. And, this focus on mental health over the last few years is just way overdue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's tremendous because, I listened to the other episodes, of course, and I remember when I first started, there were so many things that we could help people with mental health problems, because when people don't know where to go, they just call 911 and we show up.
Yeah.
But in 26 years, I'm telling you, as I've seen governments and people start taking money away from those and putting them toward other things, and so they're going away, it's difficult because there's a lot of people that need that help, and now we can't give it to them anymore. I mean, the department I'm at has a co-responder program, so they're really ramping up to try to help people, which is good.
That's good.
I've probably heard you talk more about peer support, mental health, more in the last 10 years than I've heard you talk.
Yeah.
Before it wasn't even a thing.
No,
right?
it used to not be.
I mean, if we can dig back in your past, like you weren't even sure kids were a thing for you, right?
Nope.
You were like, man, I don't even want to bring them into this world.
Yeah.
And, again, I hope you don't mind me saying, it's just because I'm so proud of you now. You were in a really dark place.
I was.
In your career.
Yeah.
And
I think a lot of guys get there.
Yeah.
And I think when you see things on TV and stuff, sometimes guys are there, they don't realize it. And, people say, well, there you go. That's the way they all are.
Yeah.
Not really.
Right. Yeah.
But we can get that way and we can get out of it.
You bring up a point, and people are always so touchy about it. And I just don't think I'm going to avoid it. Right. Like, it's funny how you can have so many different opinions of police officers these days. And the people who probably don't have a police officer in their lineage or around it, they just see what's on TV.
Yeah.
I see what's on TV and realize the 30 or 40 calls that happened probably before that one.
Right.
And also the 30 or 40 minutes that happened before what I'm seeing. And I've just always been blessed to be surrounded by cops like yourself, like cops with integrity who want to make a difference, who want to help, who really got into this field when it was an honor and a hero. And I hope you don't let the loud voice of a few change your opinion about yourself, because you are a hero, man. I just said it out loud. I'm not going to do what you do. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of people with a hole in your foot walking around here.
Well, and here's the thing about the reality of what you do, and firefighters and EMTs and nurses and doctors, even if you put them all together in this, you guys are never coming to someone on their best day.
Never.
Rarely are you involved in anything where anyone is having a good day.
Right.
It may be if you're working a Friday night football game and you're just directing some traffic. But other than that, you're meeting everyone in one of the worst days of their lives in some form or fashion, and having to help them navigate, negotiate, or be the person that stops them from something they're doing. So to keep that mental health piece of it up and to push away, your only understanding being a TV show, or your only understanding being whatever circus of a news channel you watch.
Yeah.
It's important to dig in and get some real facts about what's going on, because just like anything else, there's a couple bad apples that are in the mix, but it's so far from being true that that's the whole bowl of apples. The vast majority of officers are out there doing what they're doing because they want better communities and safer communities. And it's out of love, guys. It's not because they're getting rich doing it. It's out of love. And it's hard enough
that's true.
In its own right in a daily basis.
Man, you're not... You didn't know you were just going to sit on the couch. We're just going to brag about you for a little while. But I tell you what really caught me is when I would ride out with these guys and watch them go from maybe an older lady who's fighting dementia and being able to put, peace back with her. That's not somebody stealing her house. Leave that. Go to 4 kids who are shoplifting at Walmart because they want to, not because they have to.
Yep.
Leave that it's getting later on in the day, probably pull a speeder over, hear them tell you what a horrible person you are and how life's unfair. Leave that, go to a domestic violence situation where a fight has broken out and you've got somebody with a busted nose and you've got a sword, all of that. Leave that, go to a house because there's a kid that's out of control and a mom's she's at her wit's end and doesn't know what to do. So she calls the police.
Yeah.
Leave that, go help somebody who fell downstairs. Leave that, go get 2 roommates that are arguing. Oh, by the way, you got to grab some dinner in there that you probably got 15 minutes of because you have to leave that because somebody else's needs help. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's a Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't until I wrote out that I was just like, how do you like, like, I don't understand how cops work. Like, I just don't get
process all of that.
Yeah. I'm from a life that says, hey, you're really good at telling older ladies that everything's going to be fine. You're really good at, shoplifting. I'm really good at domestic violence. So you handle all the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm so used to you're good at,
yeah,
man, you're good at this. You're good at this. You're good at this. But there is a Paul Harvey quote that I think I sent you. And I'm going to,
what is the policeman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going
to, that's a famous,
I'm going to try to find that and play it at the end of this podcast because it sums it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sums it up.
Well, and that's, how much time do you spend in training?
I mean, that's tough to say because we do so much different kinds, like online training. Plus I teach a lot.
Right.
So I keep up with all of that. But we gotta keep up with court cases and court decisions in our district or in our, where we're at.
So you've got training of some sort going on all the time.
Yeah. Most the guys are in training a lot of time.
Yeah.
SWAT guys, especially, they're in there quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we have, like I said, we have online training that we do every month that we have to complete. And, we have in-service all the time. And then you can put in for outside training.
Mm-hmm.
That can be tough because it's really good training. However, everyone's so shorthanded, it's hard to go.
Yeah.
And then budgets are tight. So sometimes they say, yeah, we just don't have the money.
Yeah.
But
I say that to say, I mean, in a given day, you're a therapist. You're physically having to stop somebody from something. You're giving first aid on some levels. You're
mentally trying to stop somebody.
Mentally trying to stop something and talk somebody down. I mean, you're a host of things all together, and you're not sure which of your utilities you're going to have to use at any given call until you're in it.
Well, then now, how long do you give each of those? So everybody on TV thought, okay, he did that well enough. Okay, he did that well enough.
Well, it translates to today. When I'm training new guys, I have some of them that I say, these are the things we need to do to keep everybody safe. And their reaction is, yeah, but how's it going to look on TV?
Right. Right.
How's it going to look on TV? I don't,
I'm trying to get you to go home.
Yeah. I need you to go say hi to your wife. I don't sometimes because sometimes it's ugly. And it's mean and it's brutal.
So,
but that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I
that's okay.
cut you off. So I want to go back. I feel like we brushed right over when you have a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Going home, it helps because you can talk to Jackie, right?
Yeah.
But you don't always get to offload or download with Jackie before your 2 little girls are saying, hey, man, let's hang out. So do you have any advice for rookie cops that are dads that you could say, hey, it took me 26 years to figure this out. Let me help you.
So the funny thing is the girls have been kind of conditioned by this time, right? They're 12 and 13. So like if I communicate with her that I've been, like, let's say I've been at a house that the person is no longer with us and they haven't been with us for a while and it does not smell good.
Yeah.
I will let Jack know, hey, I'm coming home. This is what we had. And, so she will make sure she tells the girl, Dad's going to take a shower right quick before he comes in here. So because they want to come up and hug and do all that stuff.
So to clarify, what you're saying is when you walk into somewhere where somebody is unalive,
yes,
that smell will get on you.
It does.
And linger on you.
It does. Or, there's people that we go to their house because they don't know, they can't deal with their loved one who has 30 cats.
Oh.
That can be tough. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a rough smell.
Things like that. But the funny thing is you did say that I didn't want kids, and I didn't for a long time.
What drove that?
Some of the things I worked and cases I worked, I just didn't want that. I would see the guys really hurting that had kids, that had to deal with kids. And I didn't want that. And I thought, I'm not bringing kids into this.
You thought the only way to keep them safe was don't even come.
Yeah. Don't even be in this world. And that's what happens to guys, right? After 3 or 4 years, what they see every day is what they think the world is.
Yeah.
And, you said, the voices that are the loudest, right? It's always extremes.
Yeah.
And they can get you down. But then when I remember we went to an officer's funeral and, there's always a bunch of people that are negative, but the amount of people that stood outside for hours holding a flag.
Come on.
Brought me to tears.
Come on, man.
I mean,
I hope all you guys know,
you're like,
ratio.
Everybody hates you, right? Because that's all you do all day long is talk to everybody who hates you.
Yeah.
But then driving through that town and seeing, just kids and elderly folks and stuff standing with flags.
Yeah.
Just, I was bawling my eyes out.
Yeah.
So yeah, the girls, I look now and I couldn't do it without them, like I know when I have a rough day and especially if it's a case that involves kids, they're the first ones I grab.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't say anything. They just know.
They just know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You've always been really honest with your kids. And so it's, I think it's,
they know. And
pretty cool nieces. They got a really cool uncle.
They do.
Yeah.
Uncle Ken.
Yeah,
but,
for sure. Shout out Kendall.
Like today, it was kind of a rough day. Ava just gave me a big hug and she didn't say anything. She just said, I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she'll make me laugh because she'll go, like, if we're talking and it's been somebody having to deal with that's just out of control or whatever, she'll look at me and goes, I'll never do that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm going to lighten the mood a little bit. You ever thought about pulling somebody over who was doing the speed limit that seemed like a really nice person just so you could be like, I just wanted to talk to somebody nice for a second?
I'm sure they would say, well, you just made me late, so thanks a lot.
Oh, that's probably true.
Yeah.
I would.
But see, that my gut reaction is that, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, the most people I encounter are great, and they probably would just chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's funny. My gut reaction just then was, well, they gripe at me because I made them late.
Yeah. We've talked about this before too, right? Like you deal with what you said, everybody's worst day. You may make a good outcome, but you're making a good outcome of a worse day or a bad moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's crazy. So did you become a cop to get chicks? I want to know right now.
Listen, I own a mirror. I need a lot more than being a cop.
That's not true. You can't say stuff like that because people are like, man, you guys look alike. And then I'm always like, golly.
Sorry. That's it.
Now you know.
When you first, is there something deep inside you that says I want to help people, or did you think, man, I'm gonna get the girls,
Get the uniform on?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I really wanted to be nosy. I really wanted to know what was going on, what everybody was, what was happening.
You had no idea what you were asking
where
for.
everybody was going, what was going on.
Man, I wonder why Amber's not a cop. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's why Jack is a dispatcher. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Is it really was just the feeling of like there was no
seriously, it was very much I just felt God's calling on my heart was to help people.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
Pastors do that. They don't get shot at near as much.
Well,
They get paid about the same.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I really kind of have a thing for thieves, bullies. I don't like the idea that some people get taken advantage of that can't take care of themselves.
Funny coming from the older brother who took advantage of me because I couldn't take. Funny coming from the guy who hung me over a barn.
Yeah. Maybe I'm trying to
Atone.
Yeah, atone. That's a
Something tells me he was mouthy though, and probably earned a strong portion of what he was given.
Yes, he is the mouthy of the three.
That's true. I see
That's
that.
true.
That's true.
I haven't even met your other brother, and
That's
I can
true.
see that.
Oh, Kendall's very quiet. He is the action of the three. Shane is definitely the, hey guys, let's can we talk about this for a second? But I will say when it's go time, it's go time.
I don't mind going.
It's go time.
But Ken doesn't talk a lot.
No.
But he's the kind of guy that if you stood up there and said, why don't you throw the first punch? He would oblige.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to do that for you.
Yeah, you know how people go, you throw, no, you throw, no, you throw.
Don't do that with Ken.
You throw the first punch. Ow, that hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
Yeah. Yeah. And then he's also the type of guy that when you're on the ground to go, you asked me to hit you.
Yeah.
And I did.
And then I'll be the one that goes, you did ask him to hit. And he'll be the one to go, look, give him some space. That's about how it works.
That's how it works.
Nice. Nice.
All right. So he said to help people. I think that's great. I also think it's a lie. I think it was girls that what drove you to the. But it's, hey, I'm the little brother. I'm allowed to think what I want.
I don't think so.
26 years later, you glad you did it?
Absolutely. I love it. Well, I tried to stop, remember?
You did try to stop.
I tried to stop and I couldn't do it.
So
I retired once and back at it.
Came back.
Yeah, you joined the real world for a year and hated it.
So the funniest story about that is I complained incessantly about working more than 3 days at a time.
Yeah.
And he is like, that is how the real world works.
Yeah.
I don't like the real world.
Thursday came along. He's like, I got to get up and go again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did not like it.
So what is your schedule?
So I work 2 on. So Monday and Tuesday. So take a 2 week like a pay period.
Uh-huh.
So I work Monday and Tuesday. I'm off Wednesday, Thursday. I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm off Monday, Tuesday, work Wednesday, Thursday, off Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
So I work 7 out of 14 days. So I work half the year.
I don't hate any of that.
No. 12-hour shifts are amazing. A lot of guys are like, I couldn't do 12 hours. I just got off 36 hours. So I did 36 hours Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And you know what's funny? 7 to 7 doesn't seem bad. That seems like a good.
I fought
spot.
day shift for a long time.
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm on day shift is because of the girls. And
I told you. Oh, your girls.
Yeah, my girls. Those are the only girls I have. Those 3.
No big fan clubs going out there.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I always liked working 410s when I was in the field in construction and having that Friday off and 40 in.
Yeah, man.
I can see it.
A lot of the plainclothes guys work 410s. So
yeah. So a lot of you guys have secondary jobs.
Yep.
Because you can cut lawns and do all that good stuff.
Yeah, because we make so much money doing this.
Yeah.
We don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
It's something else to occupy.
Yeah.
What do I
It's
do
not
now?
like we're firemen who get rich.
Oh, shots fired.
Shout out Zach. Man, we know everybody.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, here's a fun fact. So my brother, my job moved me up here to Kansas City, Missouri, which I loved a whole bunch. And then Shane retired from Bryan PD and followed me up here because we always wanted our kids to grow up together.
Yep.
And, so here we are. We're in the same neighborhood.
A lot of people say family is very important, but for us, it really actually is.
It really actually is. I mean, I've told you, right? I don't know where I'd be without this guy. Man, I
In the same.
I was a loose cannon. Well, I was the loose cannon and sneaking out of the houses, and he's trying to find me before Dad.
I do remember those days.
He failed once.
A couple of times now.
And I'm traumatized, but I'm over it now. But yeah, I mean, I think it's important that me being the brother of a police officer, watching him over the last 26 years, if I could give advice to a rookie,
Find your person, man.
Yeah.
Find your guy that you can go, man, today sucked bad. And I can't get into all of it, but it was not good.
Yeah.
And that person knows when to let you talk or when to just start rattling off jokes to make you forget about it all day long.
Right.
And that is one of the things. And we used to tell rookies, or when I was rookie, get ready because you're not going to have any friends other than cops.
Yeah.
Because no one else understands.
No one else can understand what you're doing. Yeah.
It's not entirely true.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's hurtful to have just cops as friends. Yeah. You got to get past every time you walk in somewhere, somebody goes, I didn't do it, or arrest him, or whatever. That happens everywhere. But once you get past that.
So I was driving down the road not too long ago, and I can tell by my brother the way he walks. I can tell when he's, in cop mode. He's in cop mode. So I'm driving up, and he has somebody pulled over, and I'm like, "Oh, that's my brother." So I roll down my window, and I'm just like, "Defund the police!" as I'm screaming back.
Yeah.
But I think I scared that lady.
You did. The lady got scared. She thought
She got scared for you.
Yes. She thought you were going to do something violent towards me.
Yeah.
And I said, he's tried before.
Yeah.
And
He fails every time.
He fails every time.
Did you tell her that I was your brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Relaxed her a little
She
bit.
thought it was funny.
Good.
So over your career, have you been always on the street in a patrol car? Oh, what aspects have you worked in over your years?
I've been a patrol officer, a field training officer, canine officer. I have been a sergeant. I've been an undercover narcotics officer at the task force. I've ran our vice and narcotics unit. I ran the negotiation unit for 10 years. I don't know. I guess I was never, you just kind of find out where you fit.
Yeah.
I was never, hats off to the traffic guys. If you see me on the back of a motorcycle, I'm getting kidnapped. I have no business being on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I can't do that.
Is there one of your areas that sticks out to you more than others?
That I liked or
Either.
I really enjoyed doing the vice and narcotics and stuff like that. We did.
There's a good group of guys.
It was a good group of guys, and that helps tremendously.
Yeah.
But we did like online solicitation investigations where people were trying to meet up with who they thought were 13-year-old, 14-year-old kids.
I don't think I have the temperament.
I like that because I felt like that was one of the only. So a lot of times we're just reactive,
No, yeah.
and people will gripe about it, but until it's, Minority Report, we can't do anything about it.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, law is a law.
Yeah. But those kind of things, I felt like we actually could. We were stopping somebody.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about DWIs. A lot of guys don't like DWIs because they're very paperwork intensive. Because who makes the laws is probably people who drink and drive. So they make it as hard as they can. That's my opinion.
There that is.
But I feel like whenever you do get somebody like that, I feel like I could have saved somebody down the street.
Yeah,
Sure.
As opposed to somebody who's already stolen something.
for sure.
Yeah. And
Things
then
like
you're
that.
trying to track them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes
So the
sense.
proactive investigations I really enjoyed.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I love that, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
You had a really good group of dudes that you were hanging around. That was probably one of the times that I relaxed the most because I feel like those guys.
Yeah.
I feel like that group wasn't going to let the group get in trouble.
Well, and what's funny is, you talk about one or two bad apples, and I've worked with hundreds of officers, not only here, but across the country in teaching and things like that. And I can probably count on one hand the number of officers that are probably not good officers.
Across the entire nation.
Across
Right.
the nation.
Total. Yeah.
I mean, guys that I was like, you probably shouldn't be officers. And the ones I'm thinking of are not officers anymore.
Yeah.
Haven't been in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and when you look at the vast number of how many officers you have across the entire nation, let alone some of your major cities like New York or LA. Those are expansive forces. You're bound to have a couple, but it's not near what some people want you to believe it is.
Well, think of how many hundreds and thousands of contacts happen a day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and I mean, you're the opposite of Patrick Mahomes, right? When you see Patrick Mahomes for the 4 hours doing what God has gifted him to do with practice, and you just think Patrick Mahomes is amazing.
Yeah.
I've got no idea.
And from Texas.
Yeah. I mean, he went to Tech, but whatever. I got no idea if that guy kicks his dogs. I got no idea if that guy, you know what I mean? Like to me, Patrick Mahomes he's great, right? This city, we love him.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's talking to his wife or his kids. Or I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm not saying that. I'm saying,
I understand. You don't know though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
For
sure.
Exactly. Yeah. And so when you see,
but we got him on a pedestal,
right? So when you see cops in a bad light, you just assume you have no idea, you have no clue. And the hard part is we talk about it a lot. The hard part is there's always 2 or 3 mixed in there that you're right. That was too far. That was over the line, and that's what hurts the most. Because
everybody's got to take some emotion out of it and try to really understand how quick situations come and how fast you have to make a decision about how to handle whatever's in front of you. That could potentially be could hurt you or could hurt the other people around or any number of other things. And I'm not justifying, excessive force or things, but put yourself in the position where you're standing there with the vest on and you got to make a snap decision about how I go home tonight. There should be some grace in that. And I'm going to go on a rant for a second.
I like it.
There we go.
The news is the biggest virus, disgusting, right with politicians, in my opinion, because they don't give a crap about getting it right. They care about getting people fired up on negative things because that's the only thing that sells. And as far as I'm concerned, they're right there with politicians in the group of disgusting. And they try to pick on everybody doing the daily jobs from their White House pedestal and don't know the difference.
And not only with just cops, but with everybody.
We just got canceled.
Come on.
I think with everybody they do that.
They do.
Oh, yeah. Not just us. I mean,
they do.
Yeah.
So,
give one foster family a bad rap and they'll tell you the whole system's corrupt. And,
And people don't like accountability right now.
Boy, that has gotten way worse in the last 26 years.
You're going to get him talking now.
Well, I feel like, tell me your thoughts, but everybody right now wants to be accountable to only themselves. They want to do what they feel like is best for them, irregardless of the other circumstances that come around it.
That's it. And you try to write so a lot of times when I'm going somewhere, I'm trying to get there to help somebody, but I don't even turn my lights on because that makes people crazy. Like, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I've ridden with them on and people drive right in front of you and they're like, well, where I'm going is way more important. I'm going to the bank or I'm going to this and you're just going to have to wait.
That's wild to me.
That blows me away. Let that person be you going to help their family,
their child.
It would be totally opposite.
I was in front of them going, hey, I'm more important. Boy, they would have me.
And I do that too. When I go to calls and stuff and I tell people, let's put the shoe on the other foot. Yeah. Man, they don't want it. It's the generation of everyone gets a trophy raising kids.
Yeah.
Is, in my opinion, is what it kind of has occurred.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, I'm super proud of what you do. I'm super proud of the job you've done over the year. There's never been one instance where I've been like, except for the fish. That was the only time when I thought you might have cuffed.
Did you use excessive force on a fish?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Would you like to tell the story or do you want me to tell it?
We were fishing and I cast and it went over a limb and down into the water, and I was like, "Dang!"
Well, it skipped and wrapped up back over the limb and down in the water. That's important.
So I'm trying to pull it off of that limb, and while it's in the water, a fish jumps on, and so now I'm kind of stuck. So I'm trying to unwrap it and pop this line, and I am just beating that fish to death on the limb. And He is like, just like a cop screaming at me.
I said, listen, man, he just probably stole one little thing. Relax. We'll go over there
His
and get
kid
him
was
off
hungry.
We'll get him off that limb.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, man, I've been super proud of you and met a lot of good guys that have been on your team along the way. And this goes to all those cops out there, man.
Yeah.
Proud of you because I couldn't do it. There's
So-
no way.
I'm proud of them too.
Yeah.
Big open-ended question, but if you could boil down in 2 or 3 sentences, what is it something that you and other police officers would like the general public to know?
Oh man.
Yeah, maybe you should just say you. What would you, right?
Yeah. Well, here's a funny thing that I usually do with the guys I'm training. And it's going to kind of seem true, like to dispatchers. They're going to, if any dispatchers listening, they're going to say, it's easy to be a jerk to somebody you don't know. So they get mad at the dispatchers get mad at the officers, and they snippy on the radio and they do this and that. So I always take them up there to meet them, put a name to a face and things like that. It's very hard to be a jerk to people you know.
It's true.
So
You get used to it.
yeah. So, just know that they're kind of just like you, right? Except they're charged with trying to keep you and everybody else safe. And just because something goes against you, nobody's picking on you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what we get all the time. I can't believe you're doing this to me. And I'm like, bro, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
10 minutes ago, I didn't know you existed.
Yeah. But, in order for this to happen, you're going to have to drive around.
Yeah.
We got a street cut off because there's an accident down there. They're working.
Yeah.
How else do I get home? You got a smartphone? Use it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where you live.
I don't know where you live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's funny that what you don't realize is maybe some of the laws that we don't agree with. There's some police officers that don't agree with it either.
I'll tell you. There's some I don't.
But there's some things at work that we do that I don't agree with, but I have to do them.
Yeah.
And so it's just funny to me that if you would just stop to think that maybe this guy doesn't agree with that law either, but I'm at work and I've got a job to do.
Yeah.
And this is what I have to do. And my job is to explain everything to you. Go get a lawyer. Sorry.
Yeah.
See, this is why I couldn't be a cop right here. This is why I couldn't be a cop.
Your mouth would get in your way.
Yeah, it would. It would. Well, hey, man.
I feel like I haven't really said anything about kiddos yet.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh.
Yeah, it happens. I think we can kind of turn into a police session, which.
But Dan, I think it's good understanding. I think, you kind of hit how having your kids has changed your perspective as an officer on having kids.
It definitely does. And
has it changed how you police in the field?
It actually does. Yeah. Cause I always make this joke. I'm like, man, if somebody ever beat their kid, I'd bury them under the jail. Then I had kids and went, I get it.
Not saying I condone it.
Yeah, not saying I condone it.
I get it.
I see where you're coming from.
I get it.
But no, because sometimes things happen and people do things, and it all boils down to how their kids being treated, right, by other people.
Yeah.
Or things like that. And I can go, I get it, Mama Bear.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get that you got into this tiff with your neighbor because of what they said.
And before you were without kids, you were probably like, they
Yeah.
just said your kid was being annoying. That's so what?
Yeah.
You don't realize the attachment you have to your child.
Yeah.
Really.
So, that has helped. And trying to understand that I don't live in the neighborhood, so it's easy for me to go, well, figure it out and leave.
Yeah.
I try not to do that. I try to help out as much as I can, but it's helped. And being proud and all that stuff. I do feel bad that I tell the girls a lot of times, I said, hey, if I'm coming to your event, it's going to be right at when I get off, providing I'm not over. I may be in my uniform when I show up. Is that okay?
Ah.
And the girls are always like, Dad, that's great. I'm proud of you and stuff. But I feel like there's going to come a time based on how people treat us
Yeah.
that they may not like it.
Yeah.
So I always try to be, I guess, respectful of that.
Yeah.
To say I don't want to, because I don't want to. I mean, I act like I'm going to embarrass them all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but
I think that's you leaning a little more into the loud voice you hear.
I just don't. I don't want them to hear it. You can scream and cuss and yell at me all
Yeah.
you want to,
Yeah.
and I can't.
Oh, I see. You just say when you leave that school, you don't want them to
I don't want them to hear.
Yeah.
Your dad is this.
Your daddy
dad is
loves
that.
donuts.
Yeah.
And they got to go. So
Well, it's already happened a couple of times with your dad's a racist
oh
to the girls,
yeah,
and I don't want that for him.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
That's gonna happen.
yeah, and I hate and you talk about being able to do jobs. There is no way I could do a dispatcher's job.
Yeah.
No way. Oh my God, they scream and cuss and yell at them on that because it's pretty tough to scream on the phone, right?
Oh yeah.
You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be tough.
Yeah.
And those men and women that do that take it. And I'm just like, I would hang up and say, get a better attitude, call back in a minute.
It's a different breed. I totally give that job why I listen to, like, I can just let it go. Like, you can just yell and I can just go in one ear and one out the other. Right.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to be able to go. The hardest part is making that person nice. They don't mean it. They're just going through a stressful time right now. Yada,
Yeah.
yada, yada, yada. And so it's,
And that's very tough with new officers, right?
Yeah.
They don't get it. When I started, I remember them asking, hey, how many of you guys have been through an honest to goodness fist fight? And it was almost everybody. And now it's almost nobody. And I have new guys that are like, what the hell are they yelling at me? Why are they screaming and cussing at me? And I'm like, because it's Tuesday.
yeah.
It's just
You're here.
because you're here,
Your badge is shiny.
And we have those neighborhoods where neighbors just, I'm going to call you because you blew your grass on and I don't like you.
Mm.
So I'm calling the police.
I love that.
And that happens a lot.
I love that.
I was almost part of one of those the other day.
Yeah. And can I just be thankful?
I'm going to be honest with you. I was wishing she would.
Yeah.
Trying
And
to
I was
stop you.
really, no, she was the one that was saying she was going to call the police. It was the most ridiculous 20 minutes of my life. But I wish she would have, because other than it wasting your guys' time, and I really was hoping that she did and you showed up, because it would have sent her to new levels. I was like, oh, hey, Shane.
Yeah.
You want some water or
I've told
a donut?
I've told people I've told people you're acting like a 5-year-old right now. And they do. I don't really make I don't try to sugarcoat a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I just tell them you're acting like a 5-year-old right now.
Man, it makes me just want to take a moment after you telling me that story. I've never had a neighbor I've had one like down the way that I didn't really have to deal with, but I've never lived by anybody.
But do you know your neighbors?
Yeah.
You've met them?
Yeah.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a jerk to people you've met.
Yeah.
Oh, these people haven't met each other.
Oh, I can't tell you how many times I go to a house and I say, did your neighbor happen to see when your car was here or when this happened? I don't know. I don't know who they are.
That's awesome.
You don't know a neighbor? You don't know one neighbor.
Who do they
Yeah.
borrow sugar from?
I
That's
guess.
crazy.
And you know what's funny though is this is the one neighbor I really don't know. I know literally every other neighbor.
Yeah.
And this is the one I don't. And me and one of the other neighbors that know each other well, as this lady was losing her whole mind, are standing in our backyards looking at each other like, what's happening?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
You thought you were getting punked.
I did. Like, I wasn't even like,
Chances going around.
I wasn't even angry. Like, I was just like confused. Like, and it makes me think that there's got to be times where you guys roll up and you're just looking at them like, I don't, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Or when we get the call of they made my order wrong. And guys watch that on TV and laugh. And I'm like, it happens. It happens. They call because that's what people do, right? They're
Yeah.
I am the king. How dare this person
Leave my cheese off my burger.
leave my cheese? They did it deliberate. And the bad thing is a lot of our dispatchers, their hands are kind of tied depending on policy, because a lot of our dispatchers want to go, this is not a crime.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting time.
And we're
But
going to
they're
take
aware.
officers away from a potential real Because now you may be 10 miles the other direction where you'd have been a mile from a serious something that needed your attention. And now you're over here dealing with this yammer with no cheese on their burger.
I can think of, and I said it the other day to this couple that is constantly bickering. They don't fist fight. They don't do anything. They just bicker and then call us to make the other one leave them alone or do this or do that.
This is going to be our new thing.
And I told them.
Do you have to go?
So, yeah, you have to go. Some departments' policies require that you go to every single call.
Oh, wow.
And that dispatch has to dispatch every single call.
I love that.
So some dispatch centers are allowed to say, no, this is not a crime. We're not going.
So
it's just amazing to me.
Some aren't because they the public's, they just don't. I understand, we work for the public, right? But I think if you gathered the public together and said, hey, do you want me going to somebody who left pickles off a hamburger? You're going to get the vast majority. You'll probably get all of them to say no. Yeah. Until
it happens to them. And then they're like, no, you didn't leave these pickles off my burger. No. Yeah. You did it out of spite.
Yeah. But then when you tell them, dude, you were just in the meeting. They said you didn't want anybody to go. Well, not me.
I didn't know it was Johnny. You were talking about John. Johnny be leaving pickles off my sandwich all the time.
Well, I think something important, and I don't want to miss this in this, that, you're talking about if you get to know your neighbors, if you get to know officers that are around, if you get to know the dispatchers, it changes your mindset. And I think most people don't look at police officers and go, you're a husband, you're a father, you're a son, you're a friend, you're a brother. You are a human being as well that has people that you want to get to. So, my challenge to anyone listening would be that your next interaction with an officer, think through that as you're discussing whatever situation you're in. Hey, this officer wants to go home today too. This officer is a husband or a wife.
That's the part, man. Like they're just trying to get to the end of their shift, just like me. I love it. I love it.
Yep. When you talk about getting to know your neighbors, I'm always amazed. And I'm telling you, in this neighborhood, if somebody saw my girls doing something aside from throwing it on Facebook, oh my God,
I love it. That's my favorite page.
Most everybody, it is humorous. Yeah. Most everybody would come and say, hey, your girls did this. And both of mine know you're going to get in trouble by the neighbor, and then you're going to get in trouble when you get home.
100%.
So
I'd almost go 1980s around here too, because they would tell me.
Yeah.
Not only do they know, our neighbors know me and know you, they know we're brothers. They know that's my nieces, and these are your nieces and one nephew. Sorry, bub.
Yeah. We love you.
I'm going to ask one question that I think everybody wants to know, and it's going to be tough to answer. Okay. I want your honest opinion. Who puts out a better calendar, firemen or police?
Well, it's got to be firemen.
Wow.
Nobody see how many bumper stickers do you see that says my other car is a fire truck or I'm a fireman? How many t-shirts do you see guys wear that says I'm a cop? Almost none.
Yeah.
We don't tell anybody. How many cops, how many firemen have a t-shirt on that says, hug me, I'm a firefighter? They all do.
Everybody loves a fireman.
Everybody loves a fireman.
And I
have a video to prove it.
Yeah, you do. And firemen just sleep and work out all day. Yeah. That's all they do.
That's it.
Unreal.
Yeah. I hope Rick's listening.
Except Rick. Yeah. He was a captain. He was doing other things. He also mowed.
It's a really, for me, it's a real, and all the firemen I know, it's a fun rivalry.
Yeah. Well, and to be honest, firemen probably worse off, right? First responders trying to deal with
the second responders.
Yeah. Trying to deal with all that chaos before you guys get there, right? And
no, they won't. They'll stage and let us go do it.
Yeah, they're smart.
Yeah. That's it.
It's the reason why they're not cops.
And I tell them that all the time. If I could go 26 years ago, I'd have changed.
I love it. Well, listen, that's an inside joke. My father-in-law is a fireman, and some of our good friends are firemen. And firemen's? Some of our good friends are firemen.
Are you an English teacher?
No, nor a cop.
They're good. These guys around here are great. I mean, this whole city has got great.
I like the yellow fire
first
trucks. Can we talk about that for a second? I like the yellow fire trucks.
They're supposed to be red.
Wait,
Yeah.
Why?
Tradition.
I like red better.
Shout out to Lee Summon. I like your big yellow fire trucks going down the road.
Look like bananas.
They do. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to get off your chest here and tell the world?
No, and not unless the world wants to know. And that's one thing that's funny is I think a lot of people just they have a lot of questions. They just don't know who to ask.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe we should start a segment that says Ask a Cop.
Yeah.
We'll put you in the corner somewhere. And
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
We can record his answers and stick them back on social media for everybody.
Oh, yeah, we may start something like that.
There you go.
Ask the police.
I'll do it here if you'll feed me.
Donuts and bacon.
Bad boys.
Came both at me with both barrels.
I love it. Hey, who's your favorite brother out of Kendall and I?
I love you both.
Equally?
It depends on what's going on.
So you're a policeman.
Mm-hmm.
Kendall and I are in a truck.
Right.
We're hanging off a cliff.
Okay.
And Kendall's hanging off the left side and I'm hanging off the right side. Who are you saving first?
He pushes the truck over.
Yeah.
What? Which one are you saving for? Where are you going?
I don't know. Whichever one's lighter. So probably Ken.
You better hit that diet train.
I mean, that poked my heart. He ain't lying, though. Yeah, Kendall's pretty cool, too.
Yeah, he's all right.
All right. I'll let you off the hook. All right, man. Hey, thanks for hanging out. I'm super proud of you. I love you, brother.
I love you too, man.
Thank you for being safe out there.
Thank you for doing a job that most of us would prefer not doing.
Yeah. And tell all your cop friends that we're cool with them.
Yep.
But if I had to pick, I'd be a fireman. Okay.
All right. Me too.
All right.
Thank you for tuning into Dadvice, the podcast where we explore the joys and challenges of fatherhood. We hope you found tonight's discussion insightful, entertaining, and hopefully helpful as well on your journey as a dad.
Hey, to stay connected with us beyond the podcast, make sure you check out all our various social media platforms. We're on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and Facebook.
Or you can email us at dadvicepodcast@yahoo.com. Thanks, and hope to talk to you soon.
Is there anything that you can think of that you're like, I probably shouldn't have said that?
No.
Okay. All right, man.
I rarely say I shouldn't have said that. A lot of people tell me I shouldn't have said that, but I rarely say
I'm good with it.
But I'm good with it.
I'm good with me.
Matt, just make sure you keep this part that if the city gets pissed that I gave him the opportunity to take anything out. All right, dudes. Good luck.
All right.